Hello everyone, my name is Alekhya. I'm from Cybersecurity Department and today we are going to discuss about the topic about the vulnerabilities, threat and the risk and what is the motive of the attacker. So what are the difference between the vulnerabilities, threat and risk and motive of the attacker? Today we are going to discuss about this. First, the contents in the topic are terminology, vulnerabilities, terminology. So here vulnerability, risk and threats. Here we are every time we are interchangeably using these words. So what is the main terminology of each word? So let us discuss in terminology. And what is vulnerability? So what is threats? What is risk? And the differences among these and the relationship between vulnerability, threat and risk. Okay, and the motive of the attacker. So what is the motive of the attacker? So we have so many types of attackers and what is the main motive of the attackers? Let us discuss in this. So first terminology. In this, threat is nothing but it's like a cause. So it is a potential cause of an incident that may result in harm to a system or an organization. So it is a threat to it might not be a threat to only system or organization. It might be to the software in the systems. It might be threat for the assets. So everything comes under threat. So threat is like it's a cause. So it's a cause to an incident. So incident which will damage the assets of a organization. Okay, so that is threat. So threat is a potential cause of an incident that may result in harm to the system or organization. So it will cause harm to the system or organization or software in the organization or which organization is using or the data. So everything which is harmed. So it comes under threat. Okay. So vulnerability. Next, vulnerability. Vulnerability is nothing but the weakness of the system or the asset accessing of the access of the company's account. So everything that comes under vulnerability, it's nothing but a weakness of an asset. So asset means it might asset like if we take an organization, asset the devices what we are using in the organization, the data what we are processing in the organization, everything comes under vulnerable. Everything comes under the asset. So if there is any weakness of an asset, it will leads to vulnerability. So that is vulnerability. And the risk. So if there is threat and risk combined together, so if it is both are involved in any organization, so there might be a chance of having risk. So risk is the potential for loss, damage or destruction of an asset as a result. So if it happens as a result, it's a threat of it is for a result of a threat exploiting a vulnerability. So it will stole the vulnerability. So if any organization which is having weakness of an asset and there is a threat, so if they are combined, there might be a chance of having risk to the organization. So it is the main differences between threat, vulnerability and risk. So if see here, in a system that allows weak passwords, if any system that is having weak passwords, it leads to vulnerability. So password is vulnerable for directory or exhaustive key attacks. So password is vulnerable for directory, dictionary or exhaustive key attacks. Okay. And next, threat like it's an intruder can exploit the password weakness or to break into the system. So it's like the intruder, the attacker will try, if it having weak passwords, the attacker tries to break down into our organization's accounts. It is nothing but the threat. And next one, risk. So here next risk. the resources within the system are prone for illegal access. So if the resources that is open for it is open for any illegal access, modify or damaged by the intruder, it is nothing but risk. So risk is like, it is like if the organization having vulnerability like weakness of the asset and the threat, so both combined together, the risk will happen. There might be great chances of having risk happens. Next, threat agents. So threat agent, see here, entities that would knowingly seek to manifest a threat. Entities that would knowingly seek to manifest a threat. So here the threat agent will try to inform us that there is a threat in our system or in the organization. So everything that try to give information that there is a threat is nothing but a threat agent. So example, like we have pop-up blockers. Pop-up blockers means if there is any threat in the system or in the network what we are using, the pop-up blocker will try to convince us, will try to inform us about the threat. It is nothing but a threat agent. So next one, vulnerabilities. So let us discuss deeply about vulnerabilities. Here some weakness of a system that would allow security to be allowed. So if the system having weakness is nothing but if the system has weak passwords, or it is accessible to everyone, or if the organization having assets that are allowed other persons to use it, like the data, everything that comes under vulnerability. If we take any hospital that having medical bills, so the medical bills that are having in a hospital, so it is like if they are open, if they are open for any, if they are if they given access to everyone, so everyone can access it, and there might be chances of gaining the information, and there might be chances of using them, the chances of misusing that information. So it is nothing but vulnerability. So vulnerability is like weakness of a system or organization or account, everything. If anything that having weakness is nothing but vulnerability. So categories. So what are the categories in vulnerabilities? Like it's corrupted, leaky, and unavailable. Corrupted means loss of integrity. So loss of integrity means any organization that is having policies, the policies which are corrupted, like the inability of the organization to maintain those policies is nothing but loss of integrity. So then the organization system has there might be more chance of organization system might crash. Okay, it is nothing but corrupted. Loss of integrity. Loss of integrity is nothing but inability to use the policies in a correct process. And leaky. Leaky means loss of confidentiality. Loss of confidentiality means we have CEOs, like administrative workers, so and workers, normal workers. So everyone having access to our organization like data. So what is the meaning of having confidentiality? So CEO has some information about complete information about the organization. So CEO has as he is the higher authority, CEO has complete access to the data, and admin people have some access, only some account of data that is access for admin people, and workers only some, like creating an account like that only workers have. So leaky means loss of confidentiality. So if there is any loss of confidentiality, it might chances of having attackers to attack on our data or systems. And unavailability or very slow means loss of availability at the time of need, of data. If it is unavailable, so it is like a loss to the organization only. It is lost to the organization. So unavailable or very slow means loss of availability. And next one, threats. So threat means it's like a person or a thing that cause damage or danger. So threat means it is a person or a thing that cause damage or danger. So here the threat represent potential security harm to an asset when vulnerabilities are exploited. If the vulnerabilities are open, so it will the threats will represent the security harm to the asset. So the security harm to the asset when vulnerabilities are exploited. Exploited is nothing but an open like vulnerabilities, weaknesses are open to the threats that might cause harm to the assets. And here attackers are focused, so they mainly spy on us, on our data or on our software, like that. So attackers are mainly focused on the destruction of an asset. So the main aim of the attackers is to disrupt our assets. So what are our assets means our data, our softwares, what we are using in our organization, everything that comes under data, and they mainly concentrate on that assets. Okay. And software attacks means here the viruses, worms, Trojan horses, DDoS, everything, the mails coming from the other reputed sources, everything that comes under software attacks. Okay, so for real-time examples, we have fire, earthquake, oil splitting, terrorist, hackers, everything that comes under real-time examples. So real-time examples of threats are this: fire, earthquake, like falling down from any wall, everything that comes under threat. So risk. So risk means, what is risk? So risk is the potential that a given threat will exploit vulnerabilities. So it will happen. So risk might happen if the threat will exploit to vulnerabilities of an asset or group of assets which cause harm to an organization. It is nothing but risk. So risk, it's a event that could result in compromise of organization's assets for profit or personal interest. So if the organization is compromised for any profit or any personal interest, that could result in having risks. So risk is nothing but the total result of potential vulnerabilities, the total result for the vulnerabilities and threats. So if the both are combined together, there might be chances of having risks. It's nothing but risk. So what is the main difference between these? Okay, first here cyber security, risk management and security programs are revolve around helping to mitigate threats. So here mainly cyber security and risk management systems. So mainly security programs, they are all revolve around the vulnerabilities, threat, risk, they revolve around this to reduce our organizations from attacks. So from attacks how to reduce this, how to control attacks from cyber criminals. So how to do everything that is in cyber security, risk management and security programs. So they are always revolve around threats, vulnerabilities and risk to help reduce the threats and risks. So threat represent like something might happen. So threats like it might happen. So what we have to do, threats will represent it. Threats will represent something might happen. And vulnerabilities show that system have inherent weaknesses. So if the system has some weaknesses, attackers may exploit. So attackers try to, here the system has this weakness and there is a chance of attacker attacking on that system. So like that, vulnerabilities will show the system have inherent weaknesses attackers may exploit. Okay, that is like a vulnerability. And risk. So risk risk keeps business owners up at night by shining a light on potential harm inherent in running the enterprise. So if they want to run any organization, they know their own organization. So if they want to run an own organization, so risks, so what are the risks they have to follow before, like they have to schedule this, is this might happen, this might happen, they have to gather the information before itself. Okay, that is called risk. So risk is like the product of threat and vulnerabilities. So if there is a threat and there is a vulnerability, so there is the chances of getting risks. It is nothing but risk. So risk is nothing but the product of threats and vulnerabilities. Okay, so let us see here. It is a picture of a girl walking on a thread. Here there is crocodile. So here let us assume it is like a real-time example, not in the syllabus, just for clarification. So here the girl is not having any stick for balance. Okay. So what is the vulnerability? What is the threat? What is the risk? Let us see. So here the girl is not having stick for balance. So imbalance of the girl is nothing but vulnerability. Okay, here the crocodile is nothing but threat. Here the crocodile is the threat. So the imbalance of the girl is nothing but the vulnerability, and here the crocodile here is nothing but a threat. So what is the risk? Risk is nothing but the falling down of the girl. If the girl fell down, then the risk happens. So risk, then the loss happens. So risk is nothing but falling down. Risk is nothing but falling down of the girl. Falling down of the girl. So here the girl not having stick is nothing but the weakness of the situation. Weakness of the situation where it is nothing but a vulnerability. So here the crocodile is nothing but a threat, and here risk is nothing but risk is like falling down from the rope. Okay, see here. So here what we have said, here the crocodiles are threats. Imbalance of the person is weaknesses. That is nothing but vulnerability. So possibility of falling down is risk. Possibility of falling down is risk. So let us like another example we have seen. So if any employees sharing company secrets, if there is any employee in an organization sharing sharing their sensitive data to another sharing the data through social networks, so social media, that leads to company financial loss, data loss, or reputational damage. So here see employee sharing company secrets. So what is he doing? Employee, he is sharing the company secrets through social media. So here the employee is the threat. Employee is the threat. And access to social media. So the access to social media is nothing but the vulnerability. And sharing the information is the risk. So sharing the information is the risk. See here, employee sharing company secrets through social media leads to damage, company financial loss. So the damage is nothing but risk. So here the employee is the asset, access to social media is vulnerability, and sharing information is risk. So if this happens, this is the result. What is the result? Financial loss, data loss, or reputational damage. Everything that comes under that comes like the organization's falling down. Okay, this is like its relationship between the threats, assets, and risks and vulnerabilities, assets, like that. So here see, threats exploit to vulnerabilities. What is the threat that exploit to vulnerabilities? So if there is any vulnerability in the system or any organization, the threat will exploit. It is nothing but stealing, like open to the open to the attackers. So here the threat exploit vulnerabilities. What happen? It leads to risks. So when risk happens, what is the damage? So there might be damage to the assets. Assets is nothing but the sensitive data or credentials or the policies in the organization or the secrets or material, the damage to the devices that are using the network, to the damage, everything, the network, everything, the devices used, everything that comes under assets. Assets is nothing but the things what we are using in the organization for development of financial, for development in financially or reputationally, everything that comes under assets and can be safeguarded. So they can be safeguarded by some countermeasures. So countermeasures is nothing but IARE, confidentiality, integrity, availability. Those have to be maintained by every organization to be safeguard their assets from risks. Okay. So it is like a small relationship between threats, vulnerabilities, and risks, which leads to damage to the assets, and that we have to safeguard by using some countermeasures. Okay, so let us see, for example, if any system having virus in it, so what is the threat, what is the risk, what is the vulnerability in this? Let us see. So if our system is will if our system is damaged by any virus, then virus is a threat. So virus is a threat if the system is having some virus. So here the virus is the threat. Okay, outdated antivirus. If the virus is attacking on it, then there might be, if the system might not having antivirus, or it might have outdated antivirus. So outdated antivirus, like every time the attacker is coming from with so many sophisticated technologies. So every time they are coming with so many sophisticated technologies to attack on the systems. So, and here outdated antivirus is nothing but the attacker. If the attacker tries to attacking on the system with some powerful software, so there might be chances of the system having viruses. So it is nothing but outdated viruses, antiviruses. It's like the vulnerability and loss of data. So if the system is attacked by any virus that having outdated antivirus, so there might be chances of losing of data. It's nothing but risk. So it is the complete, it is like a risk, risk is like the product of threats and vulnerabilities. Okay, so now it is like the differences between risk, threat, and vulnerabilities, and relationship between them. So now we are going to discuss about motive of the attacker. So what is the motive of the attacker? So every time, there might be difference. There might be every attacker having their own mindset. Like every attacker having their own mindset to try to attacking on the organizations. So here there are some motivations, like these are some motivations that can be that are categorized. So this might be the chances of the attacker's motive to attacking on the organizations. Okay, first of all, to make a potential or social point, and radical hackerism, financial gain, for intellectual challenge, business competition, and cyber warfare. So these are only some motivations that can be categorized. So we have so many others, like it might be their personal grudge, or it's like competition between two organizations in the society, or something, the attacker might be a psycho, that he is enjoying the downfall of the organization. So like that, we have so many motives of the attackers. Okay, first of all, let us discuss first is 6. Here, to make a potential or social point. So he want to express his criticism. So he didn't like the policies or something that is going on, that is like a current affair. It's going on, and he don't want, he want to uh, he want to oppose the situation. Then he tried to make a potential the so here the motive of the attacker is like expressing their criticism. So he want to express this his criticism on governments or politicians or the society, big brand companies, current affairs. So these are all. So here the attacker tries to express their criticism. So he don't want to he want to say, sir, that something that are coming from, sir, something government policies, politicians words, society, what the society is doing, big brand companies, what they're advertising, current affairs, what are the current affairs, what is the current affairs that are going around in real life, everything. He want to express something that is not right. That is not right. He want to express like that. It is one of the motive of the attacker. And radical hackerism. Radical hackerism is nothing but a group of people who are younger people that they want to they want to if they are on frustration on any institutions or some group of people, so they want to make them they want to tell them that they're in frustration. So here the anger or frustration with the institutions or people they believe to be wrong. So that they believe to be wrong, it is one of the main motive of the attacker. So here this group of people is usually formed by boring teens who seek a surge in adrenaline or try to vent their anger or frustration with institutions. So with institutions, they want to convey them that they are having frustration or anger with the institutions or people that they believe to be wrong. It is one of the motive of the hackers. These radical hackers are young people that they want to convey them that the institutions or people that they believe to be wrong. Okay, for financial gain. So it's nothing but they want to gain money for financial gain. Okay, this is the most likely reason for any organization get attacked. So it is one of the main reason. So here the attacker, the main goal is to gain money. So it's like here the main reason is to gain money. Okay, here nearly 3/4 of cyber attacks are essentially for cyber gains. So they want to steal money by cracking their financial accounts or stealing credit card information or causing data breaches, demanding ransom and etc. Everything that they want to do is to gain money from the organizations, because of are they attack on their systems, like they hack their systems and they gain and they stole the personal information or like photos, videos, everything like that, and they demand for some money. So this is also one of the motive of the attacker. See here, many companies went offline after refusing to pay a ransom or succumb to the threat of blackmailers. So many organizations have went offline because of the demanding of the money. So they are refused to pay. Okay. So for financial gain, here the attackers' motive is to gain money through their personal details or stealing information or stealing credit card details or like causing data breaches, everything, demanding ransom that comes. So their main motive is to gain money only. And next one for intellectual challenge. Intellectual challenge is nothing but copyrights. The copyrights like that. So similar to radical hackerism, so this is also a group of people that they commit cyber attacks for seeking attention. So they want some attention and respect from higher authorities, like they want to challenge the security networks, and they want to challenge the people who are high in the society for intellectual challenge. Okay, the main goal is to gain attention. They don't want to come forward, but they want some attention or some respect from the activities they are doing outside. Okay. Here this type of hackers play to stereotype of the socially awkward loner who lives in a virtual world. So he don't want to come outside to the world. He is in a virtual world and turn to hack for both intellectual challenge and adrenaline rush of breaking into a network. So they want to challenge that they are breaking their networks. So they are breaking their networks and gaining some information, and there might be chances of modifying the information. So everything they are doing for some they want everything that they are challenging higher authorities for their copyrights, everything that comes under intellectual challenges of so it is one of the motive of the attacker. So it is also one of the motive of the attacker. And next, business competition. So business competition, DDoS attacks are increasingly being used as a competitive business tool. So DDoS, distributed denial of service, it is one of the attacks in cyber security. So they are increasing mainly for competitive business tool. So some of these attacks are designed to prevent competitors from participating in major events. So they want to prevent the competitors in the society. It is like it is like an organization's opposite person, organization's opposite organization, like the competitors from the from same area. So like that, while others target to complete shutdown of online businesses for months. So they mainly concentrate on the competitors in the society, and they want to shut down online businesses for months. So the main goal of these attackers motive is to complete shutdown of online businesses for months, or it's like between the competition between the businesses. In either case, the idea is to cause disruption and encourage customers to flock to own site while causing financial and reputational damage. So the main the attackers try to attack on the organizations like other competitors, so that the customers of that organization will try to they'll gain attention from the customers that they are having. So let us, for example, if organization A and if the organization B. So here the organization will try to attack on the B. They'll try to attack if A attacking on a B organization to gain customers attention, and they make B's customers to A customers. It is nothing but the changing. So because of that, the B has financial damage and reputational damage also. Okay. So here the idea is to disturb and encourage competitors. So they want to encourage competitors in the society to customers to flock to own site. So flock to own site means here the customers have to come their side. by causing financial and reputational damage. Okay. Next one, cyber warfare. Cyber warfare is like the war between the internet and the information flow. It is the war on the internet and the information flow. So here the state-backed cyber attacks are being used as a means of suppressing government critics. So what is the government that is having policies? So they want to suppress the government critics and internal opposition, as well as undermining important financial, health, infrastructure services in enemy countries. So they want to mainly damage on the important things like financial, health, infrastructure services of enemy company. So cyber warfare is nothing but the war between two different areas between two different areas through internet and information flow. Okay. So here the attackers are backed by nation states, which means that they are well funded and well planned activities performed by tech savvy professionals. Okay, these attackers are backed by nation states, which means they are well funded. They are well funded and well planned activities performed by tech savvy professionals. So cyber warfare is nothing but the two nations or two areas having war through internet. So through internet and information flow. So they mainly attack on the networks or the data information. While transferring the information, they mainly concentrate on that, and they try to damage the financial, health and infrastructure services like that for the enemy companies. Nothing but cyber warfare. Okay. So today what we have discussed. So what is the terminology of threat, vulnerability and risk, and what is threat entities? So what is vulnerability? Okay, what is threat, risk, the differences between them. So the examples, we have seen some examples. Threats, the relationship between the threat, vulnerability, risk, assessments, countermeasures. Okay, and the different motive of the attacker. So these are some motives of the attacker. And to make a potential or social point, radical hackerism, for financial gain, for intellectual challenge, business competitors, cyber warfare, everything. So the attack, so these are only some motives. So it might be their personal grudge. So the motive of the attacker might be anything that if you want to damage any organization, if you want to damage it might be something he want to slow down his frustration. He want to attack through internet is nothing but the motive of the attacker. Like that, cyber warfare means internet. It is a war between the internet and information flow. Okay, this is all today. Thank you.
Like, share and subscribe. Hit the bell icon for more updates.